You know, I feel when a character in a movie has a particularly violent element about him or a scary, dark element about him, then we should just go ahead and exploit that and make a rated R movie. I mean, haven't we learned by now from Blade and Deadpool? If you make it rated R, people will go see it. We love blood and violence. Today we got Venom. So Venom is the newest superhero. Well, in this case, he's an anti-hero. Newest anti-hero movie in the superhero universe. And it stars Tom Hardy, who becomes infected with this alien race that comes to Earth that we dub symbiotes or symbiotes. And what happens is they have to attach to a host. And if they don't attach to a host, they can't survive in our atmosphere. So it's kind of like a game of chess, like trying to find the right person for the symbiote, because a lot of people are rejecting it. And Venom finds Tom Hardy and finds that he's a strong host, and then we have our movie. In this movie, Tom Hardy plays the role of this investigative reporter who's going after this gigantic corporation. I guess it was like off-brand of Oscorp, but I got the feeling that the guy who ran the organization, he gave me more of an Elon Musk vibe, because he was trying to go to space and he was trying to merge humans and symbiotes so that he could preserve the human life, because he said we were weak and blah blah blah. So Eddie Brock, played by Tom Hardy, is trying to bring this guy down because he finds out they're doing some illegal stuff behind the scenes, and then the guy basically ruins his life. He takes his career, he takes his fiance, he takes everything from him. So Eddie ends up getting a lead that they're doing some fishy stuff in this place. He breaks in to investigate. Then he becomes infected with the symbiote known as Venom. Now, one of the things I really loved in this movie was the connection between Venom and Tom Hardy, because like you could hear Venom inside Tom Hardy's mind talking to him while he was talking to the outside world, so it made him come off as crazy. And speaking of crazy, we've all seen that Tom Hardy plays these roles great, so he was a very, very, very good fit for this role, because I mean, he plays psychotic and the villain so well, as we've seen from the movie Warrior and Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. So I think that was a great choice in this movie, and seeing the interaction between them two had a really good chemistry and dynamic that added another aspect to the movie that I really enjoyed. Outside of Tom Hardy, you're not really going to get much acting in this movie. I really didn't care about his fiance that much. I don't even know what her name was. And like I said, the main antagonist in this movie is this corporation owner who's obsessed with making humans stronger by combining us with symbiotes, and he just wasn't dynamic enough on screen. Like when I saw him, like, I'm not saying he was a terrible actor, but I'm saying he didn't give off that vibe like, okay, I'm the big bad guy, you know, so just wasn't any connect there. So outside of Tom Hardy and Venom, there's really not too much acting to look forward to in this movie. The visuals in the movie were great. When he transforms into the full-on Venom, I thought that was dope. I mean, like, he looked huge and menacing and violent and creepy, and like, he was eating people's heads off. Now, granted that goes back into my rated R issue, but the visuals in the movie were good. I enjoyed the pacing of the movie also, because when Venom attaches himself to Eddie, there's always something going on, whether this corporation is trying to chase Eddie down and get the symbiote back, or if the symbiote is just trying to survive because it has to eat live flesh to live. So there's always something going on. Even just seeing, you know, Tom Hardy and him have their internal arguments, that add a great element to the pacing of the movie. So I never really found myself too bored in this movie. Now, I spoke a great deal about some of the things I liked in this movie, but I just like to reiterate it. I think Tom Hardy was amazing. I think that his dynamic with Venom and their inner trifes were great, and I think that Venom himself looked pretty dope. Some of the things that I didn't like about this movie, like I said in the beginning, we have to start making rated R movies rated R. I mean, Venom is an anti-hero. He is a violent creature by nature. Now, he's not necessarily a bad guy if you read the comics, but it's a violent creature who must eat living flesh to survive, or else he'll die. So it's more of a matter of survival than it is him being violent. And like I said, he was eating people's heads off in this movie. So when he does that, I don't want to see him going to bite the head, then they cut the scene and then it's over. Let me see him rip the head off and the guts and stuff spew. I mean, he's attacking agents throughout the movie. He's a violent symbiote. Let's see the violence, let's see the blood, let's see the gore. That's what we want to see. I mean, come on. Deadpool has definitely pushed the limits, and why can't we follow suit with movies like Venom? Another issue I had is the backstory. Now, I'm not saying I'm the biggest comic book geek in the world, but the backstory in this movie didn't make sense. I'm going to try to be as spoiler-free as possible, but in the backstory, Venom attaches himself to a strong host. So the first host he finds is Spider-Man. And when Spider-Man rejects him, he finds Eddie Brock, and he finds Eddie Brock to be a suitable host because he has a vendetta with Spider-Man too, because Spider-Man basically ruined his journalism career. In this movie, they don't follow that route. I'm not going to exploit, well, I'm not going to ruin how they go about it, but they didn't go about it the comic book way, and I feel like that was a huge missed opportunity right there, because how are you going to bring Spider-Man to the dynamic now? How are you going to explain their feud, their dispute, their dislike for one another? I don't know, unless you just say Spider-Man's coming in, because you can't be biting heads off. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So to sum everything back up, Venom was a good movie. It wasn't as good as I hoped, but it wasn't as bad as some people are out there saying that it is so far. Tom Hardy was great in the role. The chemistry between Venom and Eddie Brock was amazing. Venom looks dope. When they fight, it's pretty good action, even though I wish there was more blood and gore. The pacing of the movie is just fine. And overall, I enjoyed the movie. So with that being said, I would definitely say Venom is worth a midday matinee. Alright, so that's it for this one, folks. So for the comment combo of the day, I want you to tell me who is your favorite symbiote. Now, again, I'm not the biggest comic book nerd, but I do know that the offspring of the symbiotes create stronger symbiotes, which I think is some BS. That sucks. How is the watered down version stronger than the original? But either way, my favorite is Venom, just because I like the black and white scheme, and he's the OG of the symbiotes. But whatever you think, comment below and let me know. Now, as always, if you liked this video and you thought it rocked, like, comment, subscribe to see more from me, Mike Proc. Later.